Hello, Dr. Wendy. How are you doing?
Hi, good. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. How have you been during this MCO?
So far now it's actually much better. Of course, the first 2 weeks, besides struggling for the tech side, and of course I struggled with my two little monsters at home as well. So, but of course, after a while, this is the 6 week. I suppose all of us from this new normal, we supposed to now name it as now normal. If we are still staying, we are still struggling in a way, something is not right already. Hmm.
Yeah. How are the kids doing? Because they have a different way of coping up with all of this, right?
Yes, but I think for the kids is they are okay with it. It's just that my younger one who is now 6 years old, so they have a lot of Zoom classes whereby we have to be with them in a way like they
Right, right.
attend class, we are attending the class as well, sitting beside to guide them and stuff like that. Yeah, so that takes up some of our time as well. Yeah, so
Yeah.
my little boy will have about 3 classes a day. Yeah, so
Wow. And then you have your time has to be there, lah. Same
yes,
goes
yes.
with me also.
Yeah, if you're not sitting beside them, right, they will be just like, they do other stuff, they are not listening and this one. But of course, my 11-year-old boy is still okay. So he's actually quite independent. Yeah.
Thank God for that.
Mm. Yeah.
Okay, so friends,
Mm.
we have Dr. Wendy here, Dr. Wendy Liew. She's going to speak a lot about your image. All right. So if
Mhm.
before we start, just drop by, say hello, send your likes, loves, and all, so that Dr. Wendy knows that you are around.
Mhm.
And also feel free to drop your questions to
Yes.
her early on, so that she can answer your questions later on. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So today we're going to speak about professional image, three areas to create a great professional image. All right.
Mm-hmm.
As we all know, when we build ourselves in the corporate, we climb the corporate ladder, or we do the in our business circle, the way we
Mm-hmm.
present ourselves, our image, and all actually counts a lot,
Yeah.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
how are we going to present ourselves and portray a great image so that it helps us in our career or our business growth, right? So today we have Dr. Wendy Liew to share a lot about these areas, three main areas. And of course, you can ask all the questions you want later on. She's actually, let me just introduce her a little bit. She's actually a multiple award winning entrepreneur, a trailblazer author, right? I would definitely like to hear a little bit more about your books later on. Yeah, Dr.
Thank
Wendy.
you. Okay.
And she's also a highly sought after image consultant, right? Currently, she's the president of the Association of Image Consultants International, Malaysian chapter, AICI, all right, for the 2018 to 2020 year.
Mm-hmm.
To date, she has actually trained more than hundreds of companies that includes MNCs, GLCs on areas like professional image branding, protocol. I like to definitely hear about the protocol side of things also, and also business etiquette. All right. So over to you, Dr. Wendy. We'll love to hear a little bit more about how we can set a great professional image.
All right. Thank you so much, Vesa. Thank you. In a way, before we actually touch on some of the areas that we need to work on
Yeah.
to create great professional image, in a way, I think we have to clear the air on many doubts that people might have. There are some challenges that many people will face, as in like why I've been building, my personal image for a while and it doesn't seem that it's working. And
Right.
then a lot of people also ask the same question as in like what is considered the right professional image, what is right and what is wrong, whether to build or to create. So in fact, in a way, when we talk about building images, yeah, so we have to first create before we build. Okay, why we say we have to first create before we build is because just like a lot of people will say that, oh, practice makes perfect, but when you are practicing the wrong thing, you are perfecting the wrong thing as well. So
Mm,
meaning in a way, when we have to first create something that is right for you, then only we start to build. And it is not only that we have to constantly and continuously building and creating, because when we talk about constantly creating, it's not that we have to run far from who we are not, but of course, the time is changing. We have to actually follow the pace and the progress of where we are. Okay, I will actually talk more on that. after this one. And then when we talk about what is the right professional image, I think when we talk about professional image, a lot of people get it wrongly, as in like people might think that professional image might be, oh, you have to dress up with suits, with coats, jackets, and stuff like that. In fact, it is not. When we talk about professional, let's say a professional cobbler or plumber, they do not need to dress up in suits and stuff like that. So the word professional is very much into based on your profession, what do you do, your destination, your company, your lifestyles and stuff like that. So when we talk about professional, is in a way is something that matches who you are, what you do, your lifestyle, and etc. So now the first thing that we have to look into is actually something we call it as alignment. Alignment, why we need, not only cars need alignment, but in fact, when we talk about branding, we have to align what is actually the inner you, the inner self of you. And at the same time, it's between your visual image, how you appear, and then, of course, the last one is actually your experience image, meaning to say how people experience you. Now, people got stuck from the alignment is because after a while they cannot sustain is because it is not them. It is not who they are. Now, when we talk about a branding, what they call exercise and stuff like that, it's not to say, oh, you change the clothes, you do makeup, you change your hair, there you go. No, but because when we talk about a professional image that can help us to climb in a career ladder, it has to be something relates to the inner self of us. Then only we can sustain. When we talk about how we relate back to the inner self, is that who you really are. I can see that a lot of time, a lot of introvert, they are actually forcing themselves to be extrovert. In a way, it is not wrong, but how can you do that in a way that you feel so comfortable that you can progressively do that? That's how we need to sustain for a longer period of time. Okay, so and then when we talk about the visual image, now no matter who we are, when we deal with human, be it professionally or personally, sometimes expectation kicks in as well. When we talk about expectation, how is our perception that we create align as well with the expectation? Just like we normally bump into a lot of employees that share to us like, oh, I've been actually working for this company for years, but anyhow why the promotion is not me and stuff like that. So but of course when we talk about promotion is not only one way. Sometimes we thought that we have actually sacrificed, we thought we have done a lot, but how about our superior? So is the expectation and the perception created or what we have done align with that? So that's why actually when we want to talk about how to create the right image, we have to look into the whole picture on the Trinity area, meaning to say from our inner self, our perception visual image, and at the same time, our experience image. In a way, right after they see, they have a reputation on us, and from there, how people experience us. This is actually the first area. Now, and of course, right after this, we talk about the second areas is that what it takes to look professional. As I mentioned just now, the word professional doesn't mean that you have to really dress up, you have to with suits, you have to do a lot of things that is actually not you. And we even have questions like, oh, I'm an engineer, so how can we appear professional? So in a way, nobody says engineer have to suit up to work because we know that most of the engineers are in jeans and t-shirts and stuff like that. So in a way, how can we have the right image for that particular industry? So a lot of things that we have to look into that it is actually based on who you are. Okay, what do you do? Your lifestyle, your destination, or even including the company that you are representing. Okay, so now speaking about the company that we are representing, most of the companies now what they are facing or the challenge that they are facing is that probably the company branding is very good, but the employee's personal branding is not even aligned or in sync with the company's the corporate branding. So in a way, as an employee, we have to be empowered to create the right personal branding that is actually aligned with the corporate branding. So this is also one of the way for us to look into what is real definition of professionalism. Okay, so and of course, right after this, we will talk a little bit about what are the tips and tricks, for us to be professional. So speaking about tips and tricks, there are 5 things. If you are in the corporate companies, there are 5 things that we have to really look into. Okay, so the first one in terms of appearance, the first one will be actually very much into fitting. Fitting says it all. When we talk about fitting, it doesn't mean that, oh, you have to wear things which is very fitted. No, fitted means that it is just right, just right. But it doesn't mean that it has to be tight. Now, once we are actually wearing something which is ill-fitting, very loose, very big in size, we will actually appear looking sloppy. Okay, so this is actually one of it. Now, and the second one is actually pay attention to the structure, whether the stiffness of the fabric. This is actually very important. When we talk about the fabric in a way, the more structure the clothes that we are wearing, the more we are actually being perceived as more professional in a way. Okay, so also the softer the fabric, the more casual it is. So this is actually the second things that we have to look into. And the third thing is actually less is more. The more we put on, the worse it will become. Yeah, because the focus is already not right in a way. Okay, and of course after that we have to also look into the colors. Okay, wearing the right colors. Now when we talk about colors, it's not so much onto the undertone, and the skin tone and stuff like that. Why we say so is because when we talk about wearing the right skin tone, yeah, in the first place, people don't know whether you're wearing it right or not. So when we talk about this in the professional image, we are talking about in the corporate arena, whether this color is suitable or not. So maybe after this, I will address more on colors. And right after that, the last one will be show lesser skin. Okay, the more skin you show, the lesser. Okay, we are being perceived as professional or even formal, in a way.
Right.
When we
Okay.
talk about lesser skin, also because we are living in a multiracial country,
Yeah.
to me, how I look at it, yeah, the respect for different races or culture is important. So showing less skin, even in based on international standard, the lesser skin show is actually better. Okay, more professional. So
That's
now, yeah, the third area is actually on how we should behave professionally. Now, when we talk about behaving professionally, back to the first one that I have mentioned, is actually on who you are, your destination, a lifestyle and stuff like that. So how we behave, okay, in terms of behavior and also our communication has to be aligned, with who we are as well. Okay, so when we talk about this one, we talk about how to maintain authenticity. Okay,
right.
because our behavior is our experience image. In a way, how people experience us after they because most of the people, they just see the raw us. They don't know who we really are. They do not know, like, yeah, so how our true inner self. So when we talk about behaving professionally, the first thing that I really really want to focus on is actually how we maintain authenticity, how people see you offline, online are still the same person. And when we talk about maintain authenticity is on our body language as well. Okay, and also watch our words, how we say things and stuff like that. All right, and then of course conversation, the interesting level. What are the things that we should say and shouldn't say? So this is also something that we have to look into. And then of course we have to speak as per our roles. What is needed to be said by us or not? Yeah. So how can we actually say things tactfully in a better manner? Because a lot of time, yeah, same meaning when we are saying it out in a different manner, the results will be different. Yeah. So these are some of the areas that we have to look into at the moment. All right. So any questions so far? I have actually see some of the questions here on
Yeah.
by GD. How do stereotypes affect perceived professional image? Thank you so much. So should I address that, or you have
Yeah.
question for me first, Biasa?
Okay. Can you still hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say hello quickly first to
Mm-hmm.
the our gang that is here, that's
Mm-hmm.
visiting. We have Dr. Amina here, Dr. Amina Josetta, and then
Mm-hmm.
we have GD Naidu who says hello. And then GD Naidu also has a question: how do stereotypes
Mm-hmm.
affect perceived professional image? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dato Alia Karen has also dropped by and say hello.
Yeah.
We have Sivalachumi, Sivalingam said hello to you, and Tilagavadi said hello, and then Huying Lim also said hello. Right? These are from our friends in LinkedIn, and then we have friends in Facebook who have also dropped by to say hello. We have, I'm sure you know, Mallory.
Mel. Yeah. Hi,
Okay,
Mel.
Mallory, and then we have Sivakumar. okay, our regular visitor, and then we have
Mhm.
Joanne Tay, student from Cheryl with us from Inti, and then we have Peng Lee, we have Rani, we have Albert, Raymond,
Wow. Mhm.
Shamini. Okay, wow, you have a lot of fans here today.
Thank
And okay,
you.
Malar Willie has asked a question.
Yes. Yeah.
How love how she gets you to think about your identity while talking about your image. A true
Mm.
giver. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Mala.
And then we have Shamini, all right, from Tulips, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And then Siva Kumar, okay, professional image. We have a lot of questions coming about. Later, I'll read it out
Mm.
one by one so that you don't miss out anything.
Okay.
Professional image, I just wear long sleeve shirts and jeans, still close my
Mm.
IT and telecommunication deals. Even my bosses do the same thing, okay? Yeah, that's a good one. I think we can talk
Yes.
about that
Yes.
also, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Mm.
And then Rani Mallory Loon has asked a question. What are three things you consider when thinking about the
Mm.
authentic you? Okay,
Okay.
very powerful
Mm.
question there.
Yep. Mm.
Ravani said hello, and Farisha.
Mm.
Okay, all right. Okay, so
Mm.
yeah, and then Rachel Fu from LinkedIn has said hello. Elizabeth Hall also said hello,
Oh,
right,
thanks.
from
Thanks.
LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do you have more to share first before we answer the questions, or do you want to start answering some of the
Maybe I
questions?
can start answering because that will be easier to relate. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Maybe I will actually start on stereotypes first. Yeah.
Okay,
Now, when we talk about stereotyping, this is one of the most dangerous things that people will have because not many times that we are able to let people know who we really are. And even when we talk about that, we might not even have a chance. Now, speaking
okay,
about this, I want to address something very interesting.
yeah,
In a way, yeah, after so many years in the scene of professional corporate trainings in Malaysia, and we can conclude that our Malaysia culture is not very much into dressing up, doing makeup and stuff like that. And we
yeah,
find that a lot of people, yeah, the more they are bright here, they are good with what they do, the more they are not so into the appearance
dressing
side.
up, right,
Yes, yes, because those days people might say, oh, those people who don't dress up are those without confidence. But in a way, it is not. People who do not dress up are people who are very confident, because they're
interesting,
so confident that they are here. Is good, and they have the substance and stuff like that, which is actually very true. However, not a lot of time, yeah, people might give us a chance to show who we really are. And then a lot of time, because of the tip of iceberg theory, people will only actually see the 20% of us, but they will judge us, they are otherwise. So when we talk about stereotyping, I have a very good live example on one of our good friend. Also, this good friend of ours, he has a lot of substance. He is so good. He is really bright and stuff like that. However, his appearance, every time if he happens to appear, he will always in the something that, is this person? Yeah, some things that you couldn't imagine, like, why this person appearing like this. In a way, people will know the real deal of this person if only after they get a chance to maybe have a conversation with him or work with him or stuff like that. Okay,
right,
or else people might actually have a stereotype on the judgment. Now, when we talk about stereotyping, yeah, it is also based on the perception. Whatever we see, impression forms based on perception. Now, human mind works as such. Yeah, when we talk about all these things, whatever we see, we will actually use back our experience. What is in mind? Let's say, for example, when we talk about simple things, tattoo, people will always relate to gangster. But I know that tattoo is an art. But most of the time when you see tattoo, you will actually think otherwise. Just like when we talk about this, a lot of time, yeah, we even ask many people, oh, when you see a young girls, driving a sports car, a luxury sports car, what do you have in mind? Who buy it for her? This is also another big question mark.
right,
So because of stereotypes, yeah, it actually affect the perception that forms by us, and that perception is our reputation. Now, a lot of time when you see someone, this person, I think she looks this and that. And then right after this one, after we see something, we will have something form here, the perception forms. I think she is snobbish. The snobbish, who tells you that she's snobbish? This is actually from what we see, because we will normally use what we have, the record that we have in this one. So, and we relate that together. So once we have this one, oh, I think she's snobbish. But you have to give yourself a chance to go and experience this person. When they start talking or when they start experiencing in the projects and stuff like that, then only you realize, I think she is not snobbish at all. Then that is our experience image. But of course, before we manage to go into the experience image, be it we have a chance or not, the reputation has been formed, the assumed image has been formed. So therefore, I actually have this question like, what is the difference between desired professional image and perceived professional image? The perceived professional image is on daily basis on how we see, how we experience this person, and there's a perception form. But the desire is how or who we wish to appear like. You know, how is our desire image? I think I want to appear like this person. So speaking about perceived professional image, yeah, let me give you a simple example. Because the perception form or whatever perceived image, it might be actually negative or positive. So it's just on how we tweak it around. Simple example that I always love to use. Yeah, if you happens to go and buy a box of what they call toothpaste. So one of the box is dented. Okay, one is actually a new box. Yeah, definitely most of us will pick the nice box.
Yes.
Even though back home you will definitely unwrap and you will throw away the box.
Yes.
But once the box is dented, you will have a perception like this one is not good. Maybe it's expired, it's spoiled and stuff like that. And who cares to open up and check it out unless you have no choice for that? Okay, so meaning to say, yeah, what we see, even simple things like buying a box of toothpaste, we will consider this on how we look. So same goes to whatever we do and stuff like that. When we talk about total image management, yeah, the whole elements, yeah, the whole 5 elements have to be aligned. That's why actually what comes first is actually on the alignment. And when we talk about image, a lot of people has mistakenly thought that image is just appearance. But in fact, image goes beyond appearance. When we talk about going beyond appearance, it means in a way, besides how you appear, how you behave, how you communicate with people, all are actually in the same page. We have to align all these 3, then only you can actually get your authentic um, appearance or image. In a way, like what Mel has actually asked, what are the 3 ticks of authentic
Yeah.
branding or image? So when we
Yeah.
talk about authenticity, yeah, first is actually your inner self. Now, how many of you, yeah, um, answer or write it down before who you really are? Don't you think that, yeah, a lot of time you always say this statement, I just don't care on how people look at me already. I just don't care. I'm very sick. It's okay. But if you really ask yourself deep down inside, is it really okay? It's just that when we couldn't help it, you just say that it's okay. But if given a choice, I'm sure all of us, we hope that people can feel who we really are. Or then a lot of time also we will have this question, or I bump into a lot of people will tell me the same thing. Why you never understand me? How can people understand you when they do not even know who you really are? And the image that you are portraying is totally different. That's why a lot of people come and, hey, she's very scary. Why you say she's scary? Because actually the way she look and the way she portray is actually not the same thing. It's because when you look very kind, but when you speak not kind, in a way this is already not the right alignment. You get what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's why when we talk about a personal branding that you can sustain, you have to be yourself. Because nothing can be sustained when you put on a mask for a long period of time. So in a way, when we talk about personal branding, it's not just merely on now, okay, magic, I change your baju, now colors are all right and stuff like that. And there you go. And when we talk about this, yeah, even though I am an image consultant, but after many years, I find that in order to change a person willingly, and they will sustain it, based, in fact, it's actually not from the outside. I have to say that it's not from the outside. It is actually not to say that, okay, now your color is right, your hairstyle fits you, and there you go. That doesn't work. When we are not able to align, okay, our appearance, okay, behavior, communication with the inner you, nothing works. Okay, so when we talk about inner you, now actually right after this one, most of the time 80 or 90% of the people, or even 100% of the people, after they listen or learn, that's it. Okay, if whoever who is actually listening now, right after this one, you got to write down, yeah, the true inner self of yourself that not many people know. Okay, and you see what is that. Right after you write it out, you write normally how is your visual image. Let's say, for example, okay, this was
Right.
actually me once upon a time, many years ago. I was an introvert. I am very shy. Not many people will know unless if you are my hometown friend or maybe my family, then only they know. But after a while, yeah, when people actually describe me, it's totally different from who I am. And you know how much struggle I actually working on this one to make it align. So in a way, when we talk about all this, yeah, why just now, as I mentioned that when we talk about alignment, you have to also involve not only you and your image, you have to also involve your environment. Sometimes or many of the times we change is not because we are doing it willingly. We change is because of the environment that we are in, who we are. You know, when we talk about this one, you know, a lot of time people, while they are climbing up the career ladder, don't you think that a lot of people, even your good friends, will start to do not know who you really are? You know, they will say, hey,
Mm.
you have changed. But in fact, nothing has changed because your role requires you to do this. So, in
Mm.
order for us to do it in a more comfortable manner or an easier manner, what we need to do is to create a proper alignment that fits who your current you lah, in a way. That's why
Mm.
again, as I mentioned first just now, I have actually just talked about constant. The key is constant. We have to constantly creating ourselves the right image based on who we are. Okay, maybe your destination, your company. You know, a lot of time, yeah, when you are at a certain level, it's not to say we cannot actually be ourselves, but whatever we do is also might be an impact to others. When you are holding a high position, your superior or your subordinate are looking up on you. You know, we have to walk the talk when this is actually the company's direction. So what are the things that we should do? So all these things will actually create perception and expectation. So again, if you are actually sending this message, but the expectation is different, that's why forever we cannot get what we want. So when we talk about creating it right, yeah, once you are able to create it right, you will appear like a magnet to magnetize what you want in life. Now, for example, this is also whoever who attended my training, I always say this, you know, those days, yeah, I have a friend, very beautiful. She was a model. Now already cannot be a model. She was a model. She always appear in catalogs, you know, or even in bus stop buses, taxis, because she was a Maggie Me model. You know, she always model
Right.
for brands. Yeah. So, but of course, she always come and complain to me. You know, hey Wendy, why my boyfriend very poor leh? So because most of the time people thought what? Huh? Again, this might be a stereotype. Pretty girl
Right.
will get rich man lah, and all this and that. If I
Right.
actually bagaikan her as a flower, what goes after flowers are bees, right? But
Right.
for her, she is attracting what? The cockroaches, you know, the rats and stuff like that.
Mm.
So what went wrong? You know, she's a model, she's beautiful and stuff like that. How
Right.
many of you heard about a saying, yeah, birds of same feather flock together? Or
Yeah.
even in
It's
Malay,
yeah.
yeah, yang Malay dah
Yes.
enggang semanggang, pipit sama pipit.
Yes.
So in a way, if you are like that, you will attract back the same thing. Just like sometimes you go shopping, you go and look at the baju, you know, look. Wow, this baju so ugly one. Got people buy me? The answer is yes, you know, got one. You find that it is ugly, but doesn't mean that for the person they find it nice, you know. So when we talk about all this, if the alignments you cannot get it right forever, we are be hovering again and again. So
Mm.
this is also another challenge for a lot of people. After a while, they just give up because they
Mm.
say I have been building this one for long period of time and yet tak jadi. The tak
Mm.
jadi, it doesn't mean that you are not good in what you are doing. You are
Right.
perfectly doing all this. But what went wrong? Okay, is actually on matching also your ability with your professional image. Again, do not get me wrong. Professional image doesn't mean that you have to, wear the suit to work and stuff like that. Professional image as in like what really suits you to appear professionally. When we
Right.
talk about that, I think during last 2 weeks training, I have also been asked, when we talk about what are the things to create professional image. I know that nowadays more and more companies are actually going the dress down policy. Now, again, dressing down doesn't mean that you can come to work casually. Malaysian are very
Right.
special. They say they see the word business casual, they really come casually one. But in fact, when we talk about business casual, you still have to appear more business than casual. So what
Right.
it takes, to still look professional in a dressing down uh, uh, manner or maybe environment. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
So let
Okay.
me
So
see.
Isaac has some questions here. Okay, this is a
Mm,
little bit funny, but I'll just share with you just for fun, right? So
okay.
wait,
Ah.
your face doesn't just what if no matter how well you dress up for the occasion,
Spot on. Who
your
is this
face
Isaac?
doesn't.
I like you. I'll actually add you in later.
And then he followed up with these gangster faces, especially. Okay.
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you so much, Isaac. In fact, this particular part is the first thing when we talk about techniques, Now, our face is our fortune, okay? Now, speaking about this, one of the toughest things, that people find it very hard to do is actually the face doesn't match with who they are. Okay,
Mm,
we call it as the
mm.
yin and yang phase. Of course, when you heard the word yin and yang, it's nothing to do with any of the feng shui. It's
Right,
not
right, right, right.
now. Now, some people, the face is so strong, so confident,
Right.
or also known as AKA fierce.
Yes.
I'm not sure how
Okay.
many of experiences. There was one time in a presentation in a meeting. The boss, the face is so serious. When I look at him, also goosebump. Okay,
Mm,
so he throw a joke. In fact, the joke was pretty funny. But guess what? Nobody dared to laugh because the face is so serious. Now, speaking
right.
about this, the first thing that people struggle is that if you have a very fierce face, sometimes when you are actually trying to be, friendly and stuff like that, the perception felt, by the third party, if they do not know you well, I think she's trying too hard. You get what I mean?
Mm,
So,
mm, mm.
like just what Isaac has mentioned, no matter how we dress, actually sometimes is also the face. Now, your face is your fortune. First, identify your face. Okay, whether you have a yin face. Yin face means that a little bit more towards the approachable side, the friendlier
Right.
one. And of course, if you have a yang face, in a way you are more towards the aka the fierce
Serious.
one.
Okay.
Yes, the serious one. But at the same time, you look super confident. I
Right.
always name the one, the yang face is what? Muka macam yes, Wow, when they walk out, half the battle one. They look so confident, look very
Okay.
capable. Yeah. So of course there are ways for us to do a balancing. Okay. But
Mm.
of course, please don't go to do something with your face. No need to go Korea and cut here and there. Now, a few things for you to look into if you have a very serious face. Perhaps colors will work, prints and patterns will work. The choice of makeup will work. Just like just now, I actually saw Mel, actually, she wrote like, when you wear a darker lipsticks and a lighter lipsticks, it's actually different. Okay. And then at the same time, smile is also another thing. Now, when we talk about smiling, right, wow, I like this one. She's so actually Devil's Wear Prada. Yes, yeah, all these things, can instantly change the way we look. Okay, now speaking about smiling, I'm not sure how many of you are watching who are very good in taking photos. If you are very good in taking selfies, you should actually conduct a class teaching people how to smile. It takes a
Mm.
while for me to learn how to smile and look good at the same time. On So there are two things which is a great invention for me. One is actually ways. I am
Right.
very poor in the sense of direction. I have to confess that. Second
Okay.
is that I was a camera phobia. Every time I look at a camera, I kaku. I freeze. I don't know how to actually, smile and stuff like that. It took
Right.
me so long to practice on smiling. And in fact, if you want to appear, okay, macam sincere, you have to practice your smile. Okay.
Mm.
And the second thing I have actually shared before, when we talk about smiling, yeah, it also link into your EQ. And smiling, okay, can actually also tweak your mind. Now I'm not sure how many of you ladies are actually watching this one. If you are a female, okay, on the way while you are actually climbing your career ladder, sometimes, most of the times, we are always being judged or labeled, based on unconscious bias and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
learned something from Mala during the 2 years ago tulips. I really love her session. Mala, thank you so much. Now, Mala shared with us, and one thing that I find it very interesting, and it is so useful for us, yeah, as an image consultant when we are helping our client. Now, we are always being said that, oh, you are so emotional. But why not? Yeah, people will actually remember or know that actually happy is one of the emotion. When you are angry, when you are grumbling, when you are actually raising your voice, people will say, wow, you are so emotional. But why not people will say that you are so emotional when you're happy? In fact, happy is one of the emotion.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Yes.
right.
Yeah. Now, this actually linked with your EQ. Thank you so much, Mala. When we talk about EQ, yeah, this is also a trick that very useful for a lot of women. You try and see. Sometimes when we are saying things which is mean, okay, excuse me, we have to sometimes, or when you are trying to say something that you need to beg to differ, you try to say it with a little bit of smile. Because when you smile, yeah, your
Mm.
mind is a little bit calmer. When you are smiling, people will not find that you are defensive. People will not find that you are, why you are like that, why you are so emotional. So in a way, yeah, you will look neutral and say it out, yeah, in a better manner. And the acceptance level is actually very much different. Because when we talk about all these things, it is part of our image. You get what I mean? So when we are talking about image, yeah, the professional image especially, or the corporate image especially, how we behave is a direct, okay, be it direct or indirect. But how I look at it, the higher you climb, the more we have to look into all this, is because we are now representing the companies. So when we
Right.
talk about representing the companies, we have no choice, because you and I, we will actually do the same thing. For example, if you were actually in an aeroplane, you see the air stewardess, the makeup very strong, what would you say? Wow, ABC Airlines, the makeup of the air stewardess macam hantu. But how
Mm.
many you saw? Yeah, maybe you just
Mm.
see two, but you
Yes.
are actually naming the name of the company. So
Right.
a lot of time, yeah, after a certain time again is your alignment, your position, I mean your destination of the company. What company is that? And sadly to say, even there was one time my team actually mentioned this. It was actually catch me taken aback. You know what he said? Ayo, this person say like that lah. Some more this person study a lot. Some more study until like that. I say, hey, you cannot relate. You study a lot doesn't mean that you cannot say something mean. You get what I mean?
Mm.
But this is
Mm.
how people actually have the expectation. When you
Right.
study a lot, when you are higher in education level, people expect that you are saying things not in this manner, for example. So that's
Mm.
why, actually, again, back to the end, if you want to have a successful right image or professional image, be it whatever it is, yeah, first work out on your alignment. And trust me, 80% of us, yeah, might actually have a misalignment, be
Mm.
it from the inner image and your visual image, means that
Mm.
you are like that, but you are portraying differently. Okay.
Right.
Just like a lot of people are very bright, they are so clever, but they do not look like one.
Right.
You must actually get them some time. Like once you talk to them, oh, now only I know. Don't play. He is very clever. But isn't it too late if, yeah, you do not even have a chance to speak? Okay,
Right.
so this is one. And second is actually from your inner, your visual image, okay, to your assume or your desired image. So normally we will advise or suggest people, if this is your desired image, work on it. Work on it. Okay. And the last one, before you move into the proven image, you have to ensure that your experience image is aligned from what people see. Most of
Mm.
the time is what people see and what people experience is different. That's why people will say what product tidak sama dengan catalog. It's not the same. You can go, this is not what I buy. People will have
Right.
outcome is actually totally different. So all
Right.
these three have to be aligned before we get the proven image. Yeah.
Okay. What
Mm,
what what are some examples of
mm,
misalignment? That means like who you
mm,
are versus what you portray. Would you be able to
mm.
share some examples?
All right, of course. Now, there are a lot of people, they are bold with words, but
Mm-hmm.
not when they walk up. Okay, so
Okay.
all this time now, maybe a real life example that I should actually give you. There was one time in a training, there was this boy, it's a guy lah. Okay,
Mm.
he looked very young. He has a
Mm.
very cute baby face. And then I was actually pulling his leg. I say, "Ha, you 小弟弟 lah." No, then after a while, he looked at me and said, "Wendy, I'm your age." So I'm 42 lah. Then he look at me, and then of course he go and point. This is my wife, and we have two kids like you. I said, oh gosh, yes. So again, I have to admit that because we are all human. Whatever we
Yes.
see, we will put a perception of something
Right.
that we
Right.
have
Right.
in mind. Okay,
Right.
so he actually confessed that was a insurance company. So he said,
Okay.
actually, I have this problem. Every time the cases that I close are all the auntie, the smaller deals. So
Mm.
never before he's able to close big deals like the big corporate deals like his colleagues do. But
Mm.
after a while, he was trying to defend himself and he said, no, 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 you must give me a chance to speak. You
Mm.
will be impressed if you hear me speak. But the question is this: how many times you have the chance to speak in the first place?
Mm.
Okay,
Okay.
even if we have a chance to speak, how many times that the topic is something that you are really, really good at? You get what I mean? So in a way, I know that a lot of time we are very good with what we are doing. You have substance in all these things. But
Right.
don't you think that it is so much better if once people see they can relate to your ability and your capability, the
Right.
first glance they look at you? You
Okay.
get what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm sure that some of us, yeah, will experience this. When you look at someone, yeah, it's either you have a goosebump or you will say that this is someone, this
Right.
person got substance. So
Right.
this is the things that we want to achieve when we talk
Okay.
about creating a professional image. Yeah. That instance, stress down policy company. Okay, let me see. I think Dr.
Okay.
Amina has something as well.
Okay.
Hmm.
Says Dr. Amina has asked some questions.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, there is.
Promote casual, yeah, and behaving less professional communication. I like this. Thank you, Dr.
Okay,
Amina.
let me just read out this question, right, for
Yes,
everybody's
yes, yes,
benefit.
yes.
So
Okay.
Dr. Amina Joseta has asked this question. I find that in some instances, dress down policy of companies doesn't just promote casual atmosphere, but also somehow may result in some employees behaving less professionally, especially in communications with colleagues and example stakeholders. Or is it just me coming from the Gen X? Okay, that's a
Okay.
question lah.
Yes, yes.
All
Thank you
right.
so much, Dr. Amina. Now, speaking about generation, it's just that yesterday I talked about this one, the generation gap.
Right, right.
And I'm also one of the Gen X,
Okay,
but this is actually something very true. Yeah. Now,
okay,
speaking about in the corporate, of course, we have to accept the newer generation, whereby sooner or later it will be them to take over. Now,
okay.
when we talk about companies actually start to apply dress down policies, I think that the HR should look into a few areas to actually address what is dressed down. Okay, what is dressing down? So a
Right.
minimal requirement has to be in place. For example, dressing down instead of t-shirt, it has to be a polo tee, okay, or
Mm-hmm.
collar tee. Or
Mm-hmm.
maybe we have to also look into, let's say, for example, one thing is structure, one thing is actually soft. Now, once
Mm.
dressed down, the preference of many people will go into softer things, okay, things
Right,
which is, I mean, the fabric is not as stiff. So,
right.
should we actually choose the things, maybe the top is stiff, then maybe the bottom has to be structure. Because
Mm.
once it's structure, more or less it look more formal or even more professional.
Right.
Okay, then of course in terms of color, try not to have like very colorful. Even if yes, you have to also talk about how much. how colorful. In a way, you just imagine if your employees like, wow, it's actually very orange, the whole bedroom, and stuff like that. Okay, and then of course, when we talk about this, yeah, from top to toe, including shoes, also there are certain requirements for that. Speaking about shoes, yeah, there was a company who insisted to see me a day before the training. That month was so full, and then they say, okay, tomorrow is a training, you must actually come and meet me. I say, I have training, no worry, I will wait for you after the training. Luckily, the training venue is actually very near, so I went over and see what the HR has to actually talk to me. So she said that there are a few things that I need you to address during the training, and one of it is this one. So they encounter that some of their employees are wearing flip flop to work. So when
Wow.
of course the company are actually giving them suggestion or asking them not to wear this anymore, guess what? The employee say, do you know my shoe is very expensive? So in fact, the expensive and appropriate is two different things. Something that we
Right.
have to really look into is because when it is not appropriate, means not appropriate. So when it comes to this one, there is actually one activity perhaps, yeah, the companies or the HR should look into. We call it as to understand the four quadrant. Okay, yeah, yeah, the
Yeah.
four quadrant of dressing. What is
Okay.
called appropriate and what is actually called professional means that professional, trendy or fashionable, and this will actually close the gap of the newer generation and us. Okay, and us the Gen X. Okay, when we talk about this, yeah, we cannot blame them. It's because this is a norm to them. This is how they are growing up with. For example, maybe we talk about a shorter length skirt. Shorter length skirt to them is a norm. Maybe if
Mm.
I say, oh, why you wear so short to them, wow, auntie like you, do you know this is how we wear since young? You get what I mean or not? So, meaning to say, for them, they are not even aware. Now, speaking
Right.
about awareness, there's another big topic. It's because the problem of a lot of people in this world is that they do not even know or realize that this is a problem. To them, it's normal, it's okay.
Mm.
So when we talk about this, yeah, we have to let them understand the four quadrant, which is actually you have to draw out the axis: appropriate, not appropriate, okay, fashionable and not fashionable. We try not to have things which is way too conservative because it's still uh, it's a professional image.
Right.
However, how can we get a blend? Okay, the HR, if it would be good, if you can actually have what it call a handbook, okay, or guide, on what is actually acceptable. Now, sometimes people might ask me, hey, we are all adults, ma, need to say, me? Need to say. Because common sense is not born with. Okay,
Mm.
and most importantly, people are not aware that this is actually not acceptable. So when we have a guideline or handbook to talk about what is appropriate and what is actually trendy or fashionable that is acceptable, that would be actually really great. And in a way, everyone will understand. Now, speaking about this, yeah, because Dr. Amina question is also linked into communication. Now, when we talk about communication, whether the dress down policy will affect or impact the way they communicate, in a way, is not a direct impact, but indirectly, when we are in a relaxed or a little bit more casual, so the way or the conversing topic or even the choice of word might be lighter. Okay, now just like for example, when we are in a meeting with bosses, I tell you what, trust me, everyone will try to speak as proper as possible.
Mm.
However, when it is actually in a relaxed condition or situation, so everything tends to be like lighter. So back to communication, it is good for us to observe the way we speak it. And communication way is one of the halo effect. So when we talk about halo effect, is a cognitive bias that you can tweak people's mind on who you are. Again, it's actually not you say, but how you say it. Okay, so
Mm.
this is some of the things that we have to look into. Should the
Right.
company has apply or in dress down policy?
Right. Okay. So let me just share some things from Facebook. I hope,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Amina, I hope that answered your question, right?
Yeah.
And from Siva Kumar, he's the one who said from the IT company, he said, just carry yourself professionally. My asset, I believe, is my smile and my French beard. That's what my wife told me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, yeah, good, good for you. Very good. And then let me see. Mallory Loon has said, me, my natural face before is muka garang. Okay. And okay, then we also have John Lim, all right, who said, hi, Dr. Wendy, how about watch? Do we need to wear branded watch to show our identity?
Okay, should I address this,
Yeah, you
Biasa?
can just, yeah, you can just
Now,
quickly address, yeah.
okay, actually, in general, yeah, our brand identity is nothing to do with any of the luxury brand that we are wearing. Okay,
Mm,
is nothing to do. Now, speaking about this, yeah, again, it's actually all in us, you know. I know that we have been actually asked before, oh, yes, now when we're at a certain level, when we are mixing with a certain group of people, we have to match what we wear with theirs. Now, it is
right,
all your personal preferences. Okay,
right,
whether you want to get something branded is all your personal uh, preference. Now, in fact, yeah, what you wear, you must always remember: is it you wearing them or they are wearing you? Okay, when we say
mm,
that, yeah, it's actually all based on the owner, on how you carry particular thing. You
mm,
know, just even myself, you know, we have events to attend, but if the person is using a six-digit bag, doesn't mean that I have to invest in a six-digit bag to go
right,
with it.
right,
It is
right,
always that you that matters. Now, I
right,
have a sharing before, you know, on myself, taking some pictures, and then to let people see which one is actually not confident and stuff like that. It was actually posted in 2017. And most of the people will pick, yeah, the one that appear the most confident and the least confident, okay, based on my body language. Now, speaking about this, I hope that later on we will talk a little bit about body
yeah,
language. Yeah.
yes,
So I review the price of the what they call the attire that I was wearing, whereby people will say, I think this one is actually least confident. And even one of my own associates, she said, I know lah, you purposely choose this baju, you know, to wear so that you do not look confident. You know what? The baju that I was wearing is actually a linen jacket. You know,
mm,
linen is sometimes it wrinkles, you know, it looks
yes,
like a sayo masin, you know. People say,
yes,
wow,
yes, yes,
sayo
yes,
masin. Okay, so they say you purposely wear that. In
right,
fact, when we talk about this, yeah, the one that made me look most confident, the jacket only cost 35 ringgit, you know. And the most
right,
expensive one, which actually cost the actual price is 700, that I bought it full linen from Japan, that one made me look the least. It is not about what you wear. It's about how you wear it. Okay. But
mm,
of course, there are still things that we have to observe when we are talking about appearance. But in a way, I just want to actually convey a message. It's actually on the price is not matter. So long when you wear it right, you will get the same results. But of course, should you want to go for luxury brand, is really purely on our personal preferences. Yeah. Now speaking about luxury brand, yeah, I'm not sure how many of you are like me. I was when I was young, yeah, because humble family, no money. I actually were very envious, you know, why my friend can get branded lah, you know, this and that. I cannot actually own one and quality things, yeah, cannot go on. The not good one, the people can say the people look good, they speak well, they always actually like, ooh, they get promoted fast lah. You know, a lot of people when they know how to fry, goreng.
mm,
Wow, then they get big projects. But there are a lot of good people out there. Be it, let's say, for example, even there are a lot of good trainers. Every time when they raise their price, nobody won. So what
mm,
went wrong? Yeah,
mm,
so because I cannot tahan, and when we talk about luxury brand also, don't you think that sometimes we are silly? In a way, sometimes I'm one of the silly one as well. But the more expensive it is, you will find that it's very funny. People will go for that. They save, don't want to makan, they don't want to spend this and that, and they want to buy something. And once they get it, wow, they feel like, wow, boss. Why they find it so is because they will find that what they use reflects on their identity.
right,
Okay, so now speaking about this, yeah, that's the reason why I cannot tahan already. A few years ago, I flew to London and take up the course in luxury brand management. And I
mm,
find that the reason why, okay, the reason why people are willing to pay, okay, for things that they don't need at a very high price is actually on how you position yourself and how you brand it right. Now, for this particular thing, we have to understand, yeah, if you are very good in substance, yeah, so the substance will cover you. Be it you compromise on your appearance, you will still go. Just like Steve Jobs. Okay, a lot of people ask me, hey, you say what? You know, Steve Jobs also same clothes but do all the way. This is his signature look, you know. If you are able to create a signature look, congratulations, where there you go. Okay, so then how about people will also say that, hey, why this person do all these things they cannot get? So it's actually your brand positioning on how you position yourself and how you work on things that shouldn't do. I repeat, work on the things that you shouldn't do. I rather you do
Mm.
nothing rather than
Right.
you do things that is actually not supposed to. So
Mm.
most of the people when they struggle is actually something that I shared a few days ago is on we are trying to copy others, whereby
Mm.
it is not us, it is none of our forte at all. So once you do things which is not right, we have to rebuild again. And then again is all in here, you know, because our mind will actually register what has been created. Just like if you have an employee or a friend, very forgetful, blur all the way. Every time you give them a task, you will have the tendency to remind, hey, remember, do like that.
Mm.
Even after some time, they will tell you, I'm no longer like that. Hey, remember, not last time you did that. That was a
Mm.
few years ago. Why you will have this is because our this one will remember back on our past experience.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the reason why when we talk about uh, branding, position it right and work on it. Create before you build. And once you start building, you have to constantly build. And as and when we are in different phase of our career, you have to relook into creating it. Because when
Right.
we talk about this, yeah, a lot of time when you are up there, sometimes we have forgotten that there is again a need, yeah, to us to recreate who we are. Because time has changed. If you are not changing, too bad. Because if you are not blending in, you'll be blending out.
Right.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay. Very interestingly put. And then especially the part where you said you have to recreate yourself from time to time, right? As you're moving up or you're in different levels, different positions, and all. Okay.
Mm.
There's another question here from Angie. Angie says hi, and she,
Uh,
she asked a question: is smiling the same pattern, the same way? Is that a problem?
no problem, Angie. I love how you smile as always. Mwah. Now, speaking
Okay.
about
So
this,
yeah.
okay, our tips. Yeah. Now, let's
Yeah.
say when we talk about smiling, for those people who are actually not so into taking photo, in fact, maybe they want one. They really want. It's just that maybe something wrong with their teeth. You know, maybe something is not right. That's why when they smile, they have the tendency to smile like this. So
Right.
whenever they smile, they feel like something is not right. Now, okay, actually ignore that because when you put focus on that, it expands. When you're so conscious about your teeth, people will keep looking at your teeth. Now, in order for us, yeah, to look a little bit more sincere, macam sincere, okay? So you see, if you smile with teeth, you will look more sincere, okay?
Right.
If you smile without teeth, you get what I mean? So when you smile without having the teeth shown, okay, again, you might actually have another perception that create a question mark for others. However, when you are listening, having a little bit of smile with you is actually good, especially for women. Now,
Mm.
smiling, yeah, you do not need to actually keep thinking about is it the same way? Of course, it will be the same because it's us, yeah. Now, how to actually practice smiling? Now,
Right.
I'm not sure how many of you can move your eyebrow. Some people can actually like left side, right side. But
Yeah.
not many people can do that. Not many people
Okay.
can do that. Some are actually
Okay.
born with. Some have to go
Right.
and train with. Now, okay, one of the way I know that a lot of people know you can actually bite the lady to try or to learn or practice smiling. Another
Okay.
one is actually this one. You go back
Right.
after this, not go back, you are already at home. After this, you go to your room with the mirror, you close the door first, don't make people vomit.
Scared.
Then you use a piece of paper, you
Right.
cover your mouth, okay, cover your mouth.
Wow.
Then you
Okay.
smile. You smile and you see which one will make your eye look like smiling. Because a
Right.
genuine smile is actually not the lips, only the mouth is smiling. Now, a lot
Mm.
of people, once they look camera, they will smile.
Mm.
You get what I
Mm.
mean? Yeah.
Mm.
This one is already programmed here. That's why
Right.
once it's, okay, please smile, they will know
Mm.
how to smile because it's
Mm.
programmed. But
Mm.
how can we appear much more sincere? That is
Right,
important.
right, right.
So
Very
when you want
interesting.
to actually train to much more sincere, okay, first amateur way, you go and bite the lady. Okay,
Libby,
second one,
I
yeah,
didn't hear about that one. Maybe you can
yeah,
just share again.
okay.
How
Now,
does that?
in fact, a lot of time hospitality schools will use chopstick, but I find that
Right,
chopstick is a little bit too big.
right, 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 right.
It's a
Yeah,
bit too, yeah. So actually, lady will work best. Okay. Now this
a
one,
small
some people,
one.
yeah, the halus one. Okay.
Okay.
So some people might think that, hey, like that very fake, like that.
Mm.
Okay. This is not to let you ask you to smile like this all the way.
Mm.
In
Mm.
fact, yeah, they are actually practicing. Now, why we say practicing this is mimic, yeah, to let your brain experience how is
Right.
it like, when the muscle is moving, just like when you chew. When you
Mm.
chew, your eyes is the muscle around your eye is actually moving. Now,
Yes.
why we cannot feel that the person is smiling sincerely is because just the mouth is moving, not the eye.
Right.
Okay, a sincere
Mm.
smile involves both sides. Okay,
Mm.
so when you buy, in a way, it's like you are chewing.
Mm.
So your eyes will be a little bit squinted smaller. You get what
Okay.
I mean? Yeah,
Okay.
that's why actually when you smile, you cover this one, you smile, smile, smile. Lah. Then you say, wow, this one, the eye look very sincere. Jang, jang, jang. Then you know, this is more. That's how you will remember this one. And once or every time when you need to smile, you are able to smile. Those days when there is actually no selfie mode, to me, I find like, wow, I so envious why my friend can smile so nice one. And every
Yeah.
time, you know what I love the most? When some people smiling like the half little bit, the mouth little bit open, then, wow, that one so sexy. But once I do it, oh gosh, just cannot see. Yes, so that's why actually all this need to be trained. And of course, if you are gifted,
Mm.
with a good smile, then of course that you are blessed with it. Now also
Right.
look into some people when you're not smiling,
Mm.
some people the lip is
Mouth
downturn.
goes down.
Ah, so this
They
one
have a
please
word for it.
yes, the
The
downturn lip.
RB.
Oh, what's it again?
RBF.
RBS was I learned.
RBF.
Ah,
No, I don't want to repeat that here.
maybe not here.
Not
So
here.
yeah, this one, if you have a fierce face with this lip, you imagine
Yeah.
a lot of time is not that people will give you a wrong perception, but of course I know this is born with. Again, need
Yeah.
not to go to Korea and do something about it. You just need
Yeah.
to practice more on smiling, how you
Mm.
smile, and people will feel that you are more genuine. Actually, smile is a weapon. Again, I always say this: practice these two things. These two things are people have to oblige to you. When I say the word oblige, it sounds like,
Right.
wow, so serious, man. First is actually how you look at people, your eye contact. Because when I look at you, and if you move your eye away, you are rude. So, meaning to say, if I want you to talk to me, I just need to look at you. Okay, first. Second is that when you look at me and at the same time you smile at me, so in a way, I cannot say no anymore. So that's the reason why smile is powerful. Train it.
Mm.
Yeah. So of course, it is not just for the sake of taking good selfie and stuff like that, but it would be very helpful in a way on how we communicate better. Because when I say with a smile, now again, this has to be aligned. When I see and what I hear has to be aligned. There are a lot of
Right.
people. They used to speak monotonous
Right.
and then lesser facial expression.
Right. Right.
If you are trying to convey a happy message without smile and then the face is stiff, people cannot feel you. And in the end, what is the perception that you have created? She is trying too hard, lah. Don't try to be
Right.
friendly, lah. Huh? So, but in fact, you are really friendly. But it's just that this will be our obstacle to get what we want in a faster manner. So if we are able to look into the whole total image management, whereby it consists of the 5R of us, you will actually get things that you want in a faster manner. Yeah.
Mm. Okay, so we have a long question here, right?
Mm.
From John Lim, right? Let me just read out this one. For a
Okay.
lady entrepreneur, always needs to meet high level clients and
Mm.
suppliers. May I know, is there any different impression on wearing
Mm.
skirt or pants? Should we
Mm.
be wearing formal with blazer? or do you suggest to wear a whole set dressing or a two-piece top and bottom?
Okay. Now, actually, there is no. It is not said that you must wear a set and stuff like that. Now,
Mm.
have to look into a few areas. Should you choose to wear skirt, make sure that the skirt is at least 5 cm above your kneecap, or better still, if it is actually at the knee or below the knee first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because you go back and try. The shorter the skirt, yes, you look younger. Okay, or perhaps some people might say that your legs looks longer or whatever it is. But we are
Mm-hmm.
not here to portray or showing your legs. Yeah, so should
Yeah.
you are not able to go for the skirt that I have just mentioned, I rather we wear a pants, especially in the arena of the culture of the country.
Yeah.
Wearing pants is another option on looking confident as well. Now, please do not wear the skirt with lace, with a lot of details. Is because again the 5 tips that I've just mentioned on how you can instantly being perceived as professional. Okay, less is more is one of it. Okay, when we talk about
Mm.
capability, seriousness at work, the more the details, the more we will be actually distracted from what we wear. Again,
Right.
back to the end, we always have to understand you are the person that you are selling. Okay, so the rest of the things that is worn on us is just something to add on to complement us to look better in a way, or to look as what is your desired image. Yeah. Okay, 5 main tips. Yeah, there is no specific reason or rules that you have to wear a set, you have to wear a blazer and whatnot. It depends on who you meet. However, if you ask me, most of the time or almost every time when I have a business meeting with client or business presentation, I'm always in a jacket or a blazer. Okay, because
Mm.
once you suit up doesn't mean that you have to wear a suit. Yeah? Once you actually
Mm.
suit up, you will appear or being perceived as more authoritative. Okay, same
Mm.
goes to whenever I'm actually doing training, uh,
Mm.
be it whatever type of training, or even on weekend, I will still on a blazer. It's just that it is more formal type of blazer, or actually a little bit more casual blazer, but still I will actually have that. Okay, so I repeat the 5 things that we have to look into in order to being perceived as more professional or formal. Okay, first one, fitting says it all. Yeah, you have to wear
Fitting.
something which is actually well fitted, but
Okay.
fitted doesn't mean that it's tight. Yeah, fitted means that
Mm.
it's ngam. Okay, just
Mm.
nice.
Just
Because
nice.
because whenever you are wearing something ill in fitting, you will look sloppy. Okay, and it will decrease the level of professionalism. Okay, one.
Okay.
Okay, second, you have to actually look into the colors. Okay, nothing too fancy because this is for business, nothing too fancy. Okay, and try to go for colors which will not drain you off. Yeah. Okay, second here. Okay, the third one, less is more. Less is more. Okay, of course we are female, we are women. It is anytime we have the rights to put on accessories, put on baju with printed stuff or whatnot, but lesser. Okay, less is more. Okay, and of course right after this, show less skin. Okay,
Mm.
show less skin. Okay, and the last one is actually on the structure. Okay, go
Right.
for stiffer fabric. What is called stiffer?
Stiffer.
Yeah,
Okay.
so okay, I have something here. Give me a
Yeah.
minute.
Yeah. Please.
Because just nice that day I have a training that this is still here. Okay, what
Okay.
is called stiffer and what is called more relaxed? Okay, this
Right.
is stiff. Now, when
That
we
is
talk
stiff.
about stiff means once you take out the baju, even without the hanger, you can still see the shape nicely.
Right. Okay.
It is
Okay.
called stiff.
Right.
Once you are on a stiffer or more structured fabric, okay, or outfit, you will instantly look more professional or instantly look more authoritative. Now, what is actually called relaxed? Okay, relaxed
Mm.
means that you see this is also another jacket, but this is actually um, softer. Can you see
Mm.
that? No
Okay.
shade,
Yeah.
no
Yes.
shade. Yeah.
Yes.
So once you are having this one, you are actually appearing or being perceived as more relaxed. more relaxed in a way. So sometimes, yeah, one of the tricks that I always use to, for the first time, okay, for the first time, know who is your client is, what industry they are in. If they are in a very casual industry, no point you wear a jacket, or no point you suit up because you will be out
Yes,
of place. Yeah, we
true.
try to match and build the right rapport. So again, there is no a specific guideline whereby, oh, you have to go with this one, but we have to also know who are we meeting. Okay, who is the person? Is because when we are meeting someone who are maybe with higher position, MNCs or bigger companies, it is always good for us to actually give more respect. How I look at it, I will prefer to overdress than underdress.
Right.
Because when I underdress, it's me, it's reflecting us. And also at the same time, I do not want to put everything or anything at stake is because of how I dress inappropriately. So
Yeah.
once you dress appropriately and once you actually say the right thing, so meaning to say your A, B, C are actually aligned, that's how you can actually portray a better image. And of course, to me, how I look at it, yeah, the person must actually felt that you respect them. That is actually very important. Yeah.
That's very interesting because you said overdress is better than being underdressed, right? You can always like loosen up a little bit if you need to. Right? Okay, there's another
Mm,
question here. Hi, Dr. Wendy. What is a basic principle for color matching for your
mm,
shirt and shirt and pen?
mm.
Yeah,
Okay, so the general rule, yeah, if you want to appear formal, okay, and at the same time professional,
right.
first one here. First one, the shirt has to be lighter than the pants. Shirt has to be lighter than the
Okay,
pants.
okay.
Okay, the lighter the pants, the more casual it is. Now, when we talk about shirt, yeah, now most of the people might think that, oh, darker color is higher in the hierarchy. That is for the jacket, for the suit. But for the shirt that you are wearing, white color is the highest in the hierarchy. That's why if you actually walk past any gents department, at a glance when you look at the shirt, most of it are lighter in color, pastel in color.
Mm,
Okay, but do not get me wrong, do not get me wrong that you cannot wear a darker shirt and darker pants. No, it is not wrong. It's just that probably the formality is slightly lower.
yeah,
Okay, the formality is slightly lower. However, if you just want to actually go for the safe side on what will be the best choice, always have your shirt lighter than the pants. And if you notice, yeah, a lot of time, yeah, in the corporate world, most of the people with higher ranking, like the CEOs, the directors, and stuff like that, most of the time they are wearing white shirt.
yeah.
Okay, white shirt. Okay, or maybe a pastel blue shirt. Yeah, so that one is actually something which is safe. Uh, in portraying professional image. Now, of course, this one differs, yeah, might be differs if it is applied in different industry. So should you are in a creative industry, it could be total different stories. So it's just that you have to understand first, fitting must be right. Okay. Second, go with lighter shirt, darker pants. So once you have your pants lighter, okay, that's how you are actually lowering your level, the formality, the
Right.
formality level. Mm,
Okay. So let me
mm,
just, there are a few more questions. Let me just check and see.
mm,
Um, uh, Love the concept of alignment of
mm,
who you are with the environment around you. I think
mm,
that's a very important thing.
yeah.
And GD Naidu said, asked a question also. You thought on difference between desired professional image and
Mm,
perceived professional
mm,
image.
mm.
Yeah. So how do we go about that part? The desired versus perceived.
Okay. Now, the desired image is always something that you want. Let's say, for example, I am shy, I am introvert, for example, but
Right.
I always want to be appear or described as professional, as confident, as powerful, for example. So,
Right.
meaning to say, in order for me to achieve that, that is my desired image. So I have to work on the appearance or the visual side in order for me to look like that. Now,
Right.
so when we talk about how we manipulate, now in fact, yeah, I have to say that okay, how we dress is able to manipulate perception. Okay, so if let's say for example, those days I was shy, I was an introvert. But in order for me to appear confident, to appear mature, so I always dress myself up looking very, very old. Okay, why I need
Mm.
to do that is because in order for me to achieve something, I need to look like one. Just like if you are a manager, if you want to employ someone or if you want to promote one of your subordinate, you must actually ensure that the person think like one, look like one, act like one. Okay, so of
Mm.
course if you already have one of this one, why not you complete the cycle to create the right perceived image? Now why we say so is because human, yeah, we are human being, we have something called inattentional blindness. In a way, when you are focusing on these things, the rest of the things you cannot see. This also applies or answer the doubts of a lot of people who has been actually working very hard and yet nobody see them.
Mm.
I want to say a main thing here. We cannot blame anyone. Why is it so? It's just that because we are not prominent enough to be seen.
Mm.
Okay? No matter how good you are, if we are not able to do the right things to be seen or heard or felt, so in a way something is not right. Now speaking
Mm.
about this one on the perceived image and also the desired image, if you have it aligned, you are already there. In a way, you most of the time, yeah, you are able to get what you want very fast. Now because of human, the inattentional blindness kick in, the focus might be different. Now in order for you to understand it better, I have
Mm.
asked this many times in a class. How
Mm.
many of you, yeah, can tell me or can actually remember all the icons in their phone? Where is the first one, second one? Actually, I tell you
Mm.
what, so far after a decade, none of the person can actually memorize everything, all the
Yeah.
apps, yeah, in the
Yeah.
phone. But
Yeah.
when you are looking at it, you know where it is. You know, okay, now
Yes.
this is the first page.
Automatically, yes.
Yeah, but even if I ask you the second page, the middle one, what is that? It takes a while for you to think, what is that? So now, if you look at your phone every now and then, or perhaps you hold your phone the whole day, if you cannot remember the placement of your phone apps, so what do you expect the public can remember you? You get what I mean? So there's the tricky part, yeah, on actually whether we should work on your perceived image or your desired image. But if
Mm.
I was given a choice, I will work on my desired image and not my perceived image because you will go after what you desire for. But perception might not be real.
Right.
Perception is just how others look at you. For example, if a lot of people say, I think Wendy look rich, look only, this
Mm.
is the perception image. So if I am trying to fulfill my perceived image, forever I will struggle how to
Right.
look rich all the time. Okay,
Right.
but of course, if I'm actually going after my own desired image, I know how to go and I will find a way to reach there and I will actually work on it willingly. So again, back to the end, yeah, is also your willingness to do. A lot of people always say, I want to change, and forever, 10 years later, they are still the same. Why is it so? It's because first, they don't know how to do it. Second, they do not have the drive to do it. Or even the third one is that they do not know why they need that. Yeah? So again,
Mm.
back to the end is whether your inner image is aligned or not. So when you talk about branding, yeah, before you say I want to do that, you have to ask yourself deep down inside. If you know yourself well, you know what to do. But the question is this: after some time, yeah, we got confused. So even a lot of time, my clients will ask me, they look into the mirror, they ask themselves who I am. So when this part, yeah, when we talk about awareness, I have to actually say that on the second, on the second, myself and Andrew will actually have a session. I will
Right.
actually deep dive into finding yourself. If you
Mm.
actually able to find yourself, yeah, the awareness part, if you settle that one, basically with or without us, you know what to do. However, if you stuck in the first part, even you are following religiously on what to wear and stuff like that, I can actually tell you, even though if you are able to make it, it might just be a very short time because it's not
Mm.
you.
Mm. Okay, that comes to a good question here. The next one. Okay, we will. These are the last few questions, lah. How do you find your desired image?
Uh,
A good
okay,
one, John Lim.
yes, this is very good one because not
Yeah.
many people know what they want, and a
Yeah.
lot of people they choose to be behind the scene. Some people, they have very high drive. I want to be like that. I want to this one and that one. But when we talk about how do we know or how can we find our desired image, is actually based on you, what you want to be next, your next phase of life. When we talk about next phase of life, don't you think that is actually something very interesting? Not many people want to be promoted. A lot of people are just happy to be, I'm okay already lah, I get this one, I have good pay, I have good boss, I have good colleague. What else I
Right.
want more? Because they are so afraid that when they actually doing more, they might have more responsibility. So
Yeah.
for this particular part, yeah, maybe I have to divert from the corporate arena. So a lot of time, yeah, when we are talking about what is our desired image, now
Right.
whenever we are actually into different phase of life, we need different thing. Okay,
Right.
and I have to say it honestly. Throughout the years, let's not talk about the corporate scene. Yeah? If this is a personal client who come to me, I'm not sure the rest of the image consultant. I know many of them are listening. Okay, there are two main reasons. Okay, two main reasons. One is actually they struggle during climbing up the career ladder, and the second is always on the spouse. Okay, the
Mm,
spouse.
mm,
Okay,
mm, mm,
so
mm.
now how I look at it, when you talk about desire image, you have to go back to the purpose, that what we are doing every day. What is our purpose? You can even be a good mother, and you want to be a good role mother, a good role model for your children. Now, why we say so? A lot of people say, I don't need this, I don't need that. Don't you think that you want your children to look like you? If you are not looking into all this, yeah, let's say for example, you always in bad words, you always say this and that. So you are the role model, even though you are not having the intention to climb the career ladder, but we are a role model as always, be it to our children, to our friends, and whatnot. So it depends on what other image you are creating. But it is actually totally common for a lot of people do not have a desired image, meaning to say they are okay with who they are or how they appear because they do not even find a need to do that. But let me tell you what this is actually based on my personal experience.
Right.
When we work on to our image, be it appearance, behavior, and communication, is not about looking good or beautiful. Okay, I repeat, not
Mm,
about looking
mm,
good or beautiful. It's
mm,
because not many people need that. And the word
mm.
beautiful is so subjective. Now
Yes.
we are talking about how you actually make yourself appearing like a magnet to magnetize the right things in life. Just like the famous quote by Einstein. Okay, if you are doing the same thing and you expect different result, this is insanity. It will never happen. So
Mm,
when we change, might not be necessary on for your career. It could be actually improving the relationship. It could be appearing friendlier so that you have more friends. It could be
mm,
teaching your son. So in a way, yeah, when you actually put chasing to look good aside, you feel like you are so much more uh, lighter. When we talk about much lighter, in a way, is that it fits the changes that you make today, it fits into your purpose of life. So don't you think that it's actually so nice that you can actually work on your image, okay, or your brand management to fit into your purpose of life and not so much into looking beautiful? I always have this question, so what if you are beautiful? If you don't have substance, so what? If you don't know what to talk, so what? If you don't know how to behave, so what? So looking beautiful is not the only, it's not the only reason for us to work on how we look. So there are many reasons that you can actually look in, but of course, back to the end is also you must find the needs on why you need to do that. Because when we talk about this, a brand management, we have to actually do it long term. Nobody say, okay, tada, today I'm okay already. But then how is about next month, next week, next year? So a lot of people, they give up halfway and they say, why no impact one? No, it's just that you are quitting it too soon. Actually, there is nothing that you work on, no impact. Or if it is no impact, you have to check whether you are doing it right or not. Because when you are
mm,
practicing things which is not right, you will not get the right result. So in a way, when we talk about brand management, is not on how after that you get your right colors. Now I good already, I have lenses good. All these are bonus if you manage to get it. But first of all, is it you? Is it what you want? Is it aligned with who you are? Because when we
Mm.
are talking about this, first you have to work on it willingly. Second, you have to sustain it for long, long period of time. And
Mm.
how I look at it, after a while, it is your legacy. Hey, I like this person. Why? It's because this. So this one is something called proven image. In a way, from who you really are, how you appear, how people perceive you, or your we call it as assumed image, and how people experience you. This cycle is actually aligned, and this is your proven image. When you have your proven image, you are no longer doing it like consciously. In a way, it's in you. So when you're not comfortable to start with, meaning to say you are doing it, okay, but after a while it will move into from doing into your being. It's part of your life already. It's you. So meaning to say your brand image, your brand management and you are now aligned. So
Align.
that yes,
Yeah.
aligned. So meaning to say you are actually having an authentic brand that people can feel who you are. Yeah, so meaning to say that time you do not need to hardly okay Wendy say I must do this, I must wear this. No, it's because it become part of your life. It becomes a way of your life in a way. Yeah. So need not to be so conscious about, oh, okay, I'm now image consultant. I must speak properly. I must no, because if you are actually trying to be like very conscious, I think I like that, like that. So meaning to say it is not you. Okay. And then a lot of people say, I must buy branded stuff. No, when people engage you, is your knowledge, your skills, not what you use. And none of my clients for the past 15 years will ask, Wendy, what you use? Huh? What will you actually use to train? What laptop you use? No, nobody asked that. It's you. So meaning to say, if you and your brand is actually aligned, you will do it in a very light manner and you do not feel stressed to do that. But of course, as a start, you must first find it right. What is the actually the alignment? Once this one get right, and the rest is bonus. Yeah?
Right. There's one more question. We just answer this one, and before we finish the show today, I
Okay.
always wear spectacles. However, many
Mm.
of my friends ask me to take away the specs and wear contact lens, so that it look pretty and more attractive. Do you
Mm.
think wear spectacles matters in professional image? Wow, this is a good one. Okay.
Right, yeah. Actually, spectacle, wear it or not is okay.
Mm.
Again, it's not about looking beautiful. Okay, if you have a very soft face, perhaps a lens will help you out. Okay, so now how I look at it. Now I need to wear glasses because this is a reading glasses due to old age. After a while, if I don't wear, I cannot read. So especially when interview, sometimes I need to read what is actually on the screen or
Yes,
even the
yes,
paper that
yes.
I've actually written. I need that because I do not want to look good at the same time I appear silly and answer it wrongly because I read it wrong. So
Correct.
how I look at it, yeah, is not on looking good, but
Mm.
how what you have add on to give you more power. Okay,
Mm.
so if you deliver it right, people will forget what you wear. You know, whether you wear glasses or not is no longer relevant. Okay, and of course,
Yeah.
after a while, I wear glasses. I find that glasses is fun, and I treat it as accessories. Today I didn't bring. I have 6 pairs of glasses.
Oh.
Okay, I have blue one, I have red one. Okay, let's say now this one is actually on bronze. Yeah, if I
Yeah.
actually change it, this one.
Mm.
Okay, so
It
in
looks
my
different
actual
already.
yes, I have silver. So this one I look a little bit more fiercey. Then if I
Mm.
darken my lipstick like into maroon, then I look fiercer. So in a way, we are actually using this to add depth to us. So meaning
Mm.
to say, if the classes will actually make you look more authoritative or make you look more mature in a way. Now, a lot of women they scared to look mature. Actually, what's wrong if you actually look mature? Because if you look mature and you get what you want, so what's the problem? No problem. Okay, so try not to hold on so much on. I know I don't want this. I don't wear that. I don't wear pink. I don't wear this. When you are
Mm.
actually filtering all this, so what else you can do? You get what I mean? So how I look
Right.
at it, I always ask people, no, if you are actually wearing this one already and you get more, why not? Okay, so wearing glasses is actually for the convenience. However, if you find that it is very not convenient to wear glasses, by all means wear contact lens. Okay, there is no right or wrong in what we put on, but of course it will be good if we put it right. So that's how the skills come in place. The skills means that you wear it based on your face shape, based on your this and that. I have to say that as an image consultant, I have stopped talking about body shapes, face shape, and a lot of these things is because first, how many of you we really go and buy a glasses, change a glasses after we talk about a face shape? Hardly, and it's close to zero. So might as well now I'm actually telling you something that you might once you settle what is the root, yeah, you will go and find how. So if I don't settle your why, no matter how much input I give you, zero. Okay, so it's not about wearing glasses or contact lens. It's based on your own preference. If contact lens is more comfortable, by all means go ahead with that. But to me, I have difficulty to chuchuk things into my eye. No matter how also I take so like half an hour or so. I tried before, but I find that it is actually not so convenient. So after a while, I rather invest into glasses, and it is part of my accessories. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, okay, friends, here there's a small advertisement from Rosalind on Vision Space. Vision Space, you know whose one is that, right? Woon's
Yeah.
one.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, we're going to finish the show now.
Mm.
Just, if you want to just say your last, thanks or bye to Dr. Wendy here, just, feel free to do so. And
Okay.
then meanwhile, Dr. Wendy, thanks so much for the show.
Thank you
I
so
think
much.
you have
Thanks for
shared a
having
lot
me.
of you shared a lot of tips, a lot of like like 5 ways, 5 tips, and
Mhm.
3 ways. And I think for those of you who have seen the whole show, you can actually look back in the show and find all the different tips and tricks, from specs, from finding the inner you, aligning with the outside, uh, wearing what casual stiff clothes, soft clothes, and all right. So a lot of people here, friends here, was just letting you know that thanks. They've said a lot of insightful tips and sharing. And for friends who couldn't catch the whole show, there'll be the recorded one immediately after the show. You can look at the comments below and find where's the link for the full show. All right.
Mhm.
You can also find the full past interviews and all in the comments below. All right. So, Dr. Wendy, thanks a lot for being on the
Thank you.
show.
Thank you.
I think a lot of good tips, a lot of wonderful tips are
Mhm.
yours. We'll see you again. Hopefully, we'll see you again in another show.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.